What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today we're going to be talking about a mechanic that was just discovered recently in Call of Duty Vanguard, and this is aim down sight spread, also known as bloom. Basically, when you aim down sight with many of the guns in this game, and you pull the trigger, the bullet won't necessarily go exactly where you're aiming. There is a little bit of randomness programmed in. Now this was first discovered by TrueGameData, so all credit goes to him for finding this. I will leave a link to his video in the description down below, as well as his website. I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with him. But in his video, one thing I just wanted to point out, he mentioned that this is the first time we've seen this in Call of Duty for regular guns, like assault rifles and SMGs and stuff, like non-shotguns. And it turns out that's actually not true. There was some aim down sight spread in COD World War II for most of the SMGs and some of the assault rifles. We also saw this in Black Ops 3, and there are several other instances throughout the Call of Duty franchise where this has happened on regular guns. However, I've never seen it to this extent in Call of Duty with regular weapons. So in TrueGameData's video, he really likes getting into the actual values and numbers and measurements. For me, I like showing you what it looks like. So that's what we're going to be going through today. And let's start it off with the assault rifle category. As we can see here, all of the assault rifles have a little bit of aim down sight spread, with the one exception possibly being the automaton. With this particular gun, that amount of spread that you're seeing in the image, that could easily just be down to the idle sway. Even though I was mounted, there is some sway while aiming down sight, so that one may not have any ADS spread, but all of the others have some, and the really big standouts here are the AS-44 and the Volkssturmgewehr. Both of these have a lot of aim down sight spread, and therefore at really long ranges, even if you're perfectly on target when you pull the trigger, you may actually miss your shot. As for the others, the STG, ITRA, BAR, and NZ41, these all have a noticeable amount of bloom, but it's not that bad. In most situations, you're not going to notice any issue here. You'll still be hitting your target. Now, moving on to the SMG category, as you can see here, there is quite a bit more bloom compared to the assault rifles on these, and that does sort of make sense if you're going to have this mechanic. The guns that are designed to be used up close, they can have more bloom, and this will hold them back from being way too powerful at really long ranges where they shouldn't be too powerful. But with this one, basically all of the SMGs are the same, with the exception being the Owen and the Type 100. These two do have very tight aim down sight spread compared to the others, so they are your more accurate guns that you can be much more precise with. After that, getting into the LMGs don't have a ton of bloom compared to the assault rifles and the SMGs, but there is a little bit still present. The Bren is the big standout here as being the best in this category. This one may not have any bloom at all. Again, that little bit of spread just might be down to the idle sway. And finally, for the primary weapons, I wanted to look at the Marksman rifles, and with these, there's almost no aim down sight bloom. It's basically pinpoint accurate no matter which one of these that you're using. Again, that small amount of spread just could be down to idle sway, so I'd go so far as to say that there's likely no bloom on this, or if there is, it's very, very minimal. So those are the base bloom values that you can see for all of the different primary weapon categories where it matters and where it counts to look at that. Now I wanted to talk a little bit about how to adjust your bloom setting with attachments on these guns. And again, this was discovered by TrueGameData. I'm basically just here to spread this information as far as I can in the community. And it turns out the accuracy stat when you're looking at the in-game menus, the stat that says accuracy, not recoil control or anything like that, that is the stat that impacts the bloom that you experience, or how much of a spread you experience. If you go into the negative values with accuracy, you're actually going to make your bloom even worse, whereas as you get into the positive values, you're going to be tightening that up quite a bit. And just to show you guys just how much of an effect these accuracy stats can have on your aim down sight bloom, I have the AS-44, which was the worst in the assault rifle category when it came to aim down sight spread. And as you can see on the left here, I stacked it full of attachments to get the worst possible accuracy stats. So in the menus, this was -6 to accuracy, and that pretty noticeably increased that bloom. You are definitely going to be missing shots, even at like mid ranges that you otherwise would be hitting if there was no bloom there. And then on the other end of that, when I stacked on the good accuracy attachments, the ones that help with accuracy, you can see I managed to tighten up the bloom a decent amount. So now it's actually pretty decent for an assault rifle in this game. So this is something you absolutely want to be aware of as you're creating your class setups. Refer back to these charts if necessary to see if a gun is good by default or bad when it comes to bloom, and adjust accordingly when putting those attachments on. For me, I think I'm going to be steering far away from any attachment that has a negative accuracy stat, because that could really significantly harm the gun. Now that's pretty much it when it comes to the breakdown and showing off everything that I wanted to show off here. Now I wanted to share my opinion on this though. I strongly dislike aim down sight spread in a game like Call of Duty. In fact, most first-person shooters. The only exceptions are if your heads-up display elements will actively show that. So in some games like Fortnite, it's a third-person shooter. When you aim down sight, you can see your hipfire spread tightens up, but you can also visually see that there's going to be some bloom there when you pull the trigger. In a game like Call of Duty, once you're aimed down sight, you have no indication that there's going to be any bloom. Therefore, you can be 100% perfectly on target and still miss your shot, and it's just a mystery. You can't see why you missed that shot. It's all just sort of happening in the background, and there's nothing visually telling you that. That is a major issue in a competitive sort of environment. To top this off, it straight up reduces the skill gap by having aim down sight spread. If you take somebody that is perfectly accurate with their aim and put them against somebody that's pretty sloppy with their aim, the more bloom that exists, the more that's going to generally benefit the player that has bad aim, because a missed shot could end up being a hit shot. Whereas with the other player that's perfectly accurate, with them, if they were hitting 100% of the shots when there is no bloom, now they might only be hitting 90% of the shots, which is still a good percentage. I'm not saying this bloom is so bad that you're going to be shooting circles around your target and not hitting anything, but the fact that this even exists in the first place and causes somebody that is perfectly accurate and really knows how to control the gun, it causes them to be missing shots that they shouldn't. That has no place in a game like Call of Duty, in my opinion, at least for the regular weapons, like the regular full auto guns. And at the very least, I would love to see this tightened up across the board, because my testing here was at 33 meters, and that's a decent amount of spread at 33 meters, especially for the ones that stand out as not being great. This is actually going to impact your in-game performance with these guns. And for the average Call of Duty player out there that doesn't watch videos like this and doesn't keep in touch with the community, it's going to cause a lot of confusing situations where they can swear that they are on target, but instead they're actually missing due to this aim down sight spread. But those are just my opinions. I'd like to know in the comment section below, what do you guys think of this aim down sight bloom being present for regular guns in Call of Duty like they are in Vanguard? Do you really like this mechanic for some reason? Or are you like me? Do you strongly disagree with having a mechanic like this in place? Do you feel that when you're on target, the shot should be hitting right where you're aiming? Just let me know those thoughts down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.